Hey y'all, welcome back to Cute Apron Cooking. My name is Rachel, and if this is your first time here, welcome. I would love it if you would go ahead and click subscribe. And if you're one of my faithful subscribers, thank you so much for coming back for another video. The last 2 episodes I've posted have actually not been cooking videos, so it's really nice to be back in the kitchen about to make up some really delicious food. So a quiche can be served warm or room temperature. Some people say you can serve it cold, but I feel like it would taste a little bit better if you heated it up just a little bit. You can actually make a quiche a couple of days in advance, and on the day that you're ready to serve it, you want to heat it up a little bit. You can cover it with aluminum foil and then put it in a 325-degree oven for 15 minutes, and it will be perfectly warmed and your crust won't get over browned where you have it covered with the foil. For this recipe today, we're going to need mushrooms, shallots or onions, bacon, butter, garlic, heavy cream, sour cream, eggs, chives, cheese, and a pie crust. I'm just using a Pillsbury pre-made deep dish pie crust. It's actually in the frozen section. For a quiche crust, you want to make sure that you pre-bake that crust before you put your filling in it. If not, you're going to end up with a really soggy crust, and that's not very good at all because you need the crust to give a little bit of a textural difference. Sometimes when you're pre-baking a pie crust, they'll tell you to prick the pie crust and like put little fork marks around it. You don't want to do that with a quiche because your egg mixture could leak out and burn underneath the pie crust. So what you're going to do is line your unbaked pie crust with a piece of parchment paper and then fill that with beans or lentils or rice or just something to hold it down so the pie crust will keep its shape and not bubble up and mess all up. So we're going to go ahead and get the pie crust in the oven. You want to bake it with the beans in the shell for about 15 minutes. Once the 15 minutes is up, take it out of the oven, take the beans and the parchment paper out. 5 minutes more in the oven will make sure that the whole crust is nice and brown. When you're making a quiche, you want to make sure that the add-ins that you're putting into the egg mixture are pre-cooked or they're not going to cook properly. So I already have my bacon cooked and crumbled. I'm going to melt a little bit of butter in the skillet and then saute the mushrooms and shallots. And then add 2 cloves of garlic that I'm going to press with a garlic press. And once that's heated through, I'm going to just add the cooked bacon in and toss it in the mushrooms and shallots to combine the flavors. Our pie shell has baked the first 15 minutes, and I'm about to take the parchment and the beans out and let it cook its final 5 minutes. You want to loosen it around the edges just a little bit to make sure that none of the crust is in the folds of the parchment paper. Okay, and then the last 5 minutes we'll make sure that this part of the crust is cooked and nice and flaky. For today's dairy, I'm going to be using heavy cream and a little bit of sour cream just to give it a little different taste. I'm going to mix together the heavy cream and the sour cream and then put in the 3 eggs, whisk that together till it's all smooth and everything's incorporated. And then I'm going to add in some fresh chopped chives that will add a nice flavor and a little splash of color to the final product. One of my favorite types of cheese is the Manchego cheese. It's a cheese from Spain and it's a sheep's milk cheese. One of its characteristics is that it has the basket weave design on the rind. You don't want to eat the rind because it's not edible, so we're going to trim that off and grate this cheese up. After you assemble it, you'll put it in the oven and bake it for about 30 to 45 minutes. You want to check your quiche at about 30 minutes to make sure it doesn't get overcooked, and see if you need like 10 or 15 more minutes. Okay, so I was distracted by my camera person, Brooke, and I forgot to put in the shallots, the mushrooms, the bacon, and all of that. And so now I'm having to go back and add that into the quiche so we can put it in the oven. Sorry about that. So the quiche is out of the oven and we've let it cool down a little bit, and we're about to give it a try. I want to introduce you to Brooke if you haven't met her yet. She's been in a couple of my other videos. She's taking the blame for making me forget the bacon and the mushrooms in our quiche. Yes, I am blaming her.
I refuse it.
For a quiche, you want it to have like a silky texture. You don't want it to be like really super firm. It will be softer. I think it has a really good taste. Like all the mushrooms and the shallots and the bacon and the chives, everything we put in it blends so well, and it's so delicious. And the cheese. Don't forget the cheese. It's super yummy as well.
It's very like homey feeling, like comfort food. And I know it's just breakfast, but it just feels like a down-home breakfast food in a quiche, and it's wonderful.
Awesome.
It has a flaky crust. I love crust.
I'm going to go ahead and finish eating this, and I'm actually going to take the rest of it to people on campus and let them give it a try. So I will see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.